It's like when you live a life online and you also have kids, you also have family or pets, you're always trying to record those memories so you don't forget them. What that means is you're always behind the camera, you're behind the lens, you're behind the chaos, never in front of it. But what if it didn't have to always be that way? Like, that's why I started using this. It's the Insta360 X5. It is a 360-degree camera that films absolutely everything all at once. So we're talking like front, back, sideways, even my middle kid refuses to stay in the frame. And in a super busy house with 3 kids, 2 dogs, and a very patient wife, that is a game changer. So like, I wanna show you what a regular day looks like around here at my house. I'm gonna let the X5 do what it does best. Capture the whole thing without getting in the way. This video is sponsored by Insta360. So our day starts early, like sun has barely come out early. Normally this is where I'd be juggling a phone in one hand, pouring cereal with the other, missing half the moments because I'm trying just to survive while frantically pour a cup of coffee. This is where the InstaFrame mode comes in handy. I just set the X5 on the counter, I can just hit record, I can literally leave it alone and let it handle all the rest. It creates like a perfectly framed flat video, kind of the kind that you post like straight to social, but it also saves the entire 360 version in case I wanna go back and like reframe something. Like if I catch, I don't know, one of my kids reading a bedtime story to the dogs and the dogs look genuinely invested, a real thing that's happened. I'm not scrambling to just grab my phone and capture that. I'm just living in the moment, knowing the camera's got me covered. All right, so we're watching my mother-in-law's dog, which means we have 3 here in the house, and 3 dogs have a lot of energy, need to go outside. So gotta take them for a walk so they can just kind of calm down. But 3 turns into chaos. My 2 alone are nuts. We're gonna give it a shot and try not to pull my shoulder out in the process. Guys. All right, but like, here's the magic of the invisible selfie stick. It literally just disappears from the shot. What you end up with looks like someone's flying a drone right next to you. It turns an ordinary like dog walk into something like super cinematic. There's like a lot of things to like about the X5, but probably one of the coolest, I think, is that I can just say, start recording when I'm out, and it'll just start recording. And in a house of a lot of people that don't listen to me, it's nice to have like something that does. All right, so like we're back home, bribed the kids with some snacks, and I got to shift into work mode. And this is where I do all my work, the end of the dining room table. And I think this is where the X5 becomes like a really like practical content creation tool. So with single lens mode, obviously you can guess what that does. But it does let me shoot 4K 60 FPS video, which is like the sweet spot for like filming YouTube setups or product shots. And when I'm done, I made it very easy. I can send that footage straight to Insta360 Plus cloud service. And with that, it is all backed up. It's accessible on whatever, any device that I want to use. And most importantly, very easy to share. Again, I call this kind of nano mode. Grandparents love this. I can send them a fully like interactive 360 video of my kids building a pillow fort. They can look around like they are right there with us, minus the risk of kind of stepping on a rogue Lego and screaming for about 15 minutes. So later in the day, we're gonna do what we generally do to get out of the house and stop looking at screens. We're gonna go to the park because fresh air is free and my kids have unlimited energy. And I think this is where the camera like really flexes. And by the way, video quality, this thing shoots in 8K. It's got active HDR shooting at 5.7K 60 FPS. So whether the kids are whatever, running, swinging, playing baseball, or seeing you can climb the highest, and literally even seeing you can climb up the highest in their door jam. The footage stays sharp, it stays smooth, and it stays cinematic. And now with the dewarp mode, it's really easy to remove that kind of warped look at the edges of the frames that you've seen in like pretty much every other 360 camera. And also, because I know in my family, someone is inevitably going to drop or more likely throw the camera at each other. My boys non-stop fighting. The X5 has fully replaceable lenses. So if they get like scratched or smudged, I can literally just pop them off, put a new one on, and keep filming. We can even try out bullet time mode, which is like if you spin the camera around, you get this really awesome 360 degree slow motion shot. Was it necessary? Absolutely not. Did my boys feel like superheroes? Absolutely. So the camera also has pure video mode for when like the light's starting to get bad and the sun's starting to get down. You go from kind of that light to inside the house. It's still gonna be able to capture video that looks really crisp and clear. So, like before I kind of wrap up the day, I do feel like I gotta mention this. So like, as a dad, I live in a very like unexpected world of water events. Kids running through sprinklers, dogs jumping into lakes uninvited, juice spills with the splash radius of a fire hose, which has had a juice box literally explode. And somehow the Insta360 X5 is more fine with it than I am. It's waterproof up to 49 feet without any sort of dive case, which means I don't have to panic every time we're like near a pool, or if I want to set it by the pool, or worry about grabbing my gear every time someone shouts water fight, which in the summer happens often here. Sort of even better, there's no fiddling with like extra housing or cases to snap in. It just works. And if you want to go full on like underwater explorer, you can. There is a dive case that can take it down 197 feet. But for like everyday like family chaos, this thing is already more prepared than I am, at least usually. All right, so here's something that I really did not expect. Liv, you want to come in for this? Okay. This tiny camera, you want to hold it? Has better stamina than I do for most things throughout the day. So the X5 has a 2400 milliamp hour battery, which lasts up to 185 minutes in endurance mode. That's a lot of minutes, right?
Yes.
Yes. And when it does need to recharge, it goes from 0 to 80% in 20 minutes. So generally by the times I've handed out like snacks, broken up a fight with maybe you and your brother, and convinced everyone to just wear shoes to go outside, it's pretty much ready again. No stress, no extra battery stuffed into every single pocket of my dad pants. Just more time filming, and less time waiting, which is good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think of the camera?
I like it.
Yeah. All right, so like by the time we're home for dinner, the energy level is generally shifted from like screaming office level parkour. It's like, please everybody just sit down and eat something green. This is usually where cameras tend to struggle the most, especially phone cameras. You got weird lighting, indoor shadows. Are there kids moving constantly in our house?
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, I can set this thing down. We can hit record and just let Instaframe mode handle like all the rest. The footage really stays clean. They've gotten rid of a lot of the noise that used to be there. The framing stays focused. The wind guard system keeps the audio clear. It's not windy in the house, but especially if even one of the kids is yelling or trying to convince the dog to wear a hat at the dinner table. Which, believe it or not, something that's happened more than once in our house. Then if I want to share something before bed, Insta360 app actually makes it like stupidly easy. I send videos to my mom all the time. It's got AI-powered editing, so you can swipe to preview, instant export. It's also like social media ready or sharing with Nana ready in minutes without having to touch a timeline, which is awesome. I have tested a lot of cameras, right?
Yep. Yes.
Tested a lot of cameras, and a lot of them work. But they expect you to be a lot of things. They expect you to be a director, a filmmaker, an audio engineer. But this one, the Insta360 X5, honestly just makes everything easier. It captures the entire story. The big moments, the tiny moments. I think most importantly, especially with a family around, the ones you didn't realize were happening. So without making you have to think about it. And for me as a dad, as a content creator, someone who's constantly pulled in 5 different directions at once, that's worth everything. And someday, when I'm scrolling through these memories and she is a grown-up, I'll be glad that I had a camera that kept up.